In the following clip of documentation, I am just leaving the house on the night of May 18th, 2026, and I had been regularly going to the bus stop off to the left upon exiting for quite some time, but over the past little while, the Gatineau police have been setting up these stage skits where they would be sent to pull into the seedy motel that is just close to that bus stop, just so I'd see them on my way to work. They'd pull in for a matter of seconds, then pull back out, just to menace, stalk, and intimidate me, as they've been doing for almost 4 years now. So upon changing the stop, going to a different stop off to the right after exiting, there's one that is next to the Dairy Queen where there's always a lot of people standing out there. So I bypassed that stop for the last few nights last week and went to the one after it. So knowing my location and where I was going to go, because they're tracking my location and because there's also surveillance inside the home, as I turned right to go down to the other stop that I had started going to for a few nights last week, you will see that the police are parked there, just sitting there next to the stop. So when I try to go a different direction and go to a different stop, they send the police to menace, harass, and intimidate me there. And it's drug trafficking Freemason Daniel Rogers who's sending the police to do these things. CSIS basically tells the police what to do in these operations. So Dan Rogers has been sending the police to criminally harass and stalk me now for a long period of time. He tries to do this a lot more after I upload videos to try and intimidate me out of uploading videos, exposing these criminal activities, exposing police and CSIS involvement in facilitating the drug trade, and other such things. I also noticed a marked increase in these targeting and harassment activities after posting that video exposing Rebel News as well. They don't like them exposed, and I think you can tell why that is as well. And you can tell that they're clearly connected with the intelligence services as well, and anyone who speaks real truth and exposes them, well, they'll increase these harassment activities because they know it's the truth and they can't refute the truth. And so what they try to do is send their low IQ police goons and thugs to try to intimidate you more when you speak the truth. As usual, it won't work, and I'll continue to document these activities as we move closer toward this system that they're trying to impose when they're going to censor the internet in general. So at any rate, this is the clip here. Just as I exit, you'll see the police are positioned down the street at the other stop where they know I'd be going to. So as I try to take a different route to work, the police are sent to harass and intimidate me at that route there. Why would they be doing anything productive or, beneficial to anyone, right? So this is the clip here. Usual crowd out there. Bus on this side. I'm not going to make it down there anyway, that's fine. Let's carry on up here, I guess. I got the police on the right side. So the stop that I would normally go to, or that I've started going to recently anyway, they got the police positioned right at the stop there, sitting right next to the stop. Let's just take a look. I think that's where it is. Yeah, it is. So it's not the one here, but the one further down the street. And they've got them just positioned as sitting there. And on the right side, beeping here as he pulls out. Looks like they've just been told to sit there because they know that's where I'm going to get the bus. Because I usually bypass it. Recently, I started going down the other way because they're always going into the motel when I leave at night. So as you can see, when I try to go to another area, they just park them there and tell them to sit there next to where I would be getting the bus. That's the stop there. So this one here, I bypass this all the time because there's always people here from the Dairy Queen, as you can see. Always a crowd out there, standing out there. So I don't go to this one. I have been going to the one down there, but recently I have changed to going to that one, right next to that motel up there. So tonight they had the police just sitting there on the right side of the street at the stop where I would be going to, where they know I would be going to. getting paid to just sit there where I would go. And as you can see, they're not moving. They've just been told to sit there. That's where I've been getting the bus recently. You can see that in the last few videos there. I'd proceeded on down to that stop because they're going into the motel every night. So just to confirm, like to show you it's 100% stalking. First of all, they've been doing these things for around 4 years now here in this location in Gatineau. But not in this precise location, all over different areas. And then because they've been having them do a skit where they pull into the motel room when I go down there, it wouldn't matter when I would leave. If I'd leave a half an hour earlier, they'd do the skit then. So when I attempt to change that, and then I go down to another stop, they tell the police to sit right at the stop and just sit there with the lights flashing. That's CSIS and Dan Rogers sending the police to harass me as I attempt to go to work. And CSIS and Dan Rogers and Michael Duheme of the RCMP are involved in facilitating the distribution of drugs throughout Canada. That's why they send the police continually to harass me, because of the videos I've put up exposing that and exposing how they use the police to facilitate the drug trade. You wouldn't have any drugs in Canada if they were, they were stopping it from coming in to begin with. They allow it to get in, we know that, with the technology they have. So what I'll do is I'll just walk by here, just continue on. And that's, as you can see, that's right at the bus stop where they know I would go. So when I try to change to go to a different location, they send the police up there. There's no movement, he's just sitting in the car, flashing the lights, doing nothing, as you can see, just so he'd be at the bus stop to menace me there. So it's the Gatineau police and the usual group of citizen operatives here, and then he or she is gonna get out and pretend this skit is over. Yeah, it's some fake bullshit where they pretend to pull over a car. And of course, both sides of the street they have community-based actors walking around. So anytime I walk by and they know I'm filming, they have a bunch of actors so they can try and either interrupt and discredit your filming, or try to goad you into some sort of reaction or response. So as you can see, it's just a fake skit they have right at the stop, right at the bus stop there. Now it's going to conclude as I pass by. Right on cue, it's going to conclude now. You'll notice. And the Gatineau police are heavily involved in running drugs as well. It's all of them, not just some of them, they all know about it. And almost all the males are Freemasons. I think a lot of them attend that Masonic Lodge in Aylmer, probably, or the one in Montreal, a few hours away. So we continue on down here then, since that was set up there at the one that they thought I was going to go to. And we'll go to the next one, up the street here. Obviously, see, that's the car that they're pretending to pull over, and it just as I move up here, it drives away. So staging fake skits with community-based agents is something that the drug trafficking Freemasonic police in Canada do all throughout the country. That's another thing that they have a lot of people to run cover over, because they use these are the same people who they use to stage fake protests and all these things. The police have no free will of themselves. They're not capable of thinking independently. They have to have people tell them every single thing they're going to do. Same as the idiots who they use to do the stalking campaigns, and that's why they'll just do whatever they're told, like slaves. So more childish skits there from them, and so there's a lot of efforts to run cover for the police with regards to these stage plays they put on, where they stage fake calls and they set up things right at the location where you're going to be, like that there, where they know you're going to be. And basically, they couldn't behave this way. The police couldn't behave this way unless a certain amount of the population were enlisted to enable this corruption. Because there'd be too much pushback, people would have turned against them.
all we see are what you see online with people who pretend to be exposing police corruption. It's mostly fake in Canada. It's mostly staged. And what they do is, it's a clever deception. They give you the illusion that you can speak out about these things. But anyone who really does, they'll target you this way. They will spread slander about you. They'll blacklist you. And all the other stuff. Now the police, once CSIS are involved, the CSIS just directs their every move. So again, like tonight, they're telling them to go over there, wait there for my arrival. So they don't, under any circumstances, serve the public. They serve the state. Right? They're servants of the state. All this crap you hear with these Freemason auditors, and most of them are Masons as well, the auditors, who get pushed fake large platforms on these sites. All you got to do is look in the comment section and tell. Most of their interactions are fake as well. These are just bots and community-based agents who are paid to prop them up. But with those people there, to the next one, I think there's one up here. Realistically, I could even just walk there. But a lot of those people are just paid to act really stupid to help them, right? By setting up skits with the police to help them justify shutting down the ability to film any of these activities. So like when they're staging fake events, blocking off streets for nothing to harass people, following people around to harass and intimidate them, they want to shut down your ability to be able to document that. So to do that, as is always the case, they use their own people, these Freemason auditors, these people who are just actors, essentially, community-based actors. And so they will set up these skits with police. It's all staged. What you see in these auditor channels, it's almost all staged. You can tell, firstly, they have these enormous followings for putting out content that's absolutely awful. It's nothing more than staged confrontations and a bunch of just drivel. And they provide you with no real insight. They lie to you. They pretend that they believe. They push the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which has long ago been usurped. They say, these are your charter rights. They don't care about your charter rights, buddy. They don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, what? Do you think the same police who are out dealing drugs, terrorizing their own citizens, staging fake events with the media, do you think they care about your charter rights? They've long since stopped caring about that. They don't care. Treat you like a slave, which I haven't, then they make sure that your voice is stifled. Okay? What I'm showing, all I do is I provide evidence. I show you exactly what these people are doing. So it's obvious that there's a concerted effort to lie and deceive and cover that up. And these other awful, atrocious channels that just show you fake altercations are people, connected to the state, connected to Freemasonry, which has such enormous power and controls all these families throughout the country. If they're involved in Masonry, they're going to have a lot more financial benefits. And they're the ones that they use, and also because a lot of the these families, they put their children into the Duheme, which is essentially, well, for younger teenage boys, for Freemasonry, that's the system of brainwashing that they have set up. And so they're prepared. They prepare these people at a young age with normalizing lying, deceiving, participating in staged events to lie on behalf of the state. They essentially prepare them to become slaves of the state at a young age. So, if it starts young with that type of thing, with the brainwashing, then it just becomes normalized for them. They've learned from a young age. That's when they want to start them. That's what communism starts people, with the brainwashing.
Upon noticing that the Gatineau police had been sent to park right at the bus stop where they knew I would be going, I instead opted to walk the remainder of the way to the Portage, which is near the crossover point between Quebec and Ontario. Just as I arrive at the portage area, the Gatineau police pull up in front of me, then drive up to the next bus stop, where they knew I would be going to again park there. So as I leave home, they are parked at the one stop they knew I would be going to. Then when I walk to the portage, they pull up in front of me and drive directly over to the bus stop at the portage. Further proof of clear and obvious premeditated attempts to stalk, harass, and intimidate. After I bypass the first stop, where they have been set up to wait for my arrival, they then follow me directly to my next destination and intentionally drive right up next to the bus stop where they knew I would be going, so they could park there and the officer could set up another skit with a community-based agent who had been told to wait there. These are the same routines I have documented the Gatineau police partaking in to stalk and attempt to intimidate me for nearly 4 years.
Portage here in Gatineau, which is close to the crossover point where you cross over into Ontario. Just walking down here tonight for a change, get a little bit of exercise, and because they had the cops waiting at the bus stop there that I was going to go to. Just setting up the skit. You'll notice that right as I passed, the person who they're pretending to pull over drove away and they ended the skit. If I would have waited longer and just watched from a distance, they would have kept it going though. So it was just set to end when I got there. So again, would you trust people like that who are participating in deceptive things like that, staging skits like that to deceive people? Should people like that, who we know are lying and deceiving and working to enable crime and drug dealing, should people like that be able to carry automatic rifles? I don't think they should at all. I don't trust them. And they've proven themselves to be untrustworthy and criminal. So, but the way they do most of this stuff now is just set up skits. So they'll set up skits and put these skits in the news and use these stage skits as justification to push whatever agenda they want to push. So if it's whatever it would be, removal of rights for something, they'll have a bunch of people go out, i.e. those paid actors posing as Palestinian protesters, have them act ridiculous and crazy, have them become aggressive, and then put it all online, make it go viral. Anything that goes viral is just stuff that they want you to see anyway, because YouTube and all these things are essentially just like network TV now. They've transitioned it to that. It's not about creators anymore, individual creators. It's just about, as you know, the community. What do they tell you? Well, you have to do what's right for the community. They push this communitarian brainwashing into every aspect of your life. And you have no choice but to accept it. Because you're not an individual. You're just a member of a community. You're just a member of the mob. And individual rights don't matter, as you can tell in this country. But they have a million ways of deceiving and trying to discredit people who would speak openly about this, as you know. So that's why it's very difficult. You're going to pretty much stand alone. Here's the police again here right as I get here. You're going to pretty much stand... So they're at the other stop back there. Now they're following down here as I come up to the stop up here. Basically, they followed me here. I couldn't see the number. Okay, I guess they're going to park next to the stop there. So obviously that's the stop I'm going to go to now that I've got to the portage here. So they're just going to wait there, as you can see. Are they going to wait there, or are they going to go when the light changes? Let's see. So again, 4 years of stalking from these people here. It's nothing new. And because I've got evidence of their stalking online, they just lie and say, oh no. They'll just tell you that 2 + 2 is 6. Let me just go back and wait and see if he or she is going to pass through the lights. Let's wait and turn around and go back just briefly. Lights are still... Oh no, now they're stopping at that stop to get out here, okay? So this is the stop I was going to go to here. As you saw, they were at the other one down there. Now they're just getting out to stop here. At the stop, put on some stupid skit. So let me see. Go back here. This is all they do, is stalk people and stage skits. It's Dan Rogers and CSIS setting this up. Oh, this one looks like it's out of commission. Yeah, see, she's setting up some skit with a guy who was told to sit there. So that's right at the stop where I would be going to now. I might have to call my coworker and say I'm running a little behind. I'm not going to take an Uber, because I got to watch my money this week. Might take tomorrow, I don't know, but yeah, see, she's just so that's they know I'm going to the stop, as you can see here, and they have a guy sitting on a bench, so she has to get off and stop and talk to him. They've told him to wait there, obviously, so they can set up an excuse for pulling up to the next stop. So the first stop I was going to go to, as you see, they're there, and then I come up here and they're at this one as well. Some fakery here, as you can see. Okay, I'll just pass by and go to the other stop. Let's see if they do like a fake coughing. A lot of times they'll go like as you go by. So I'll just go to the next one up here. Here's the bus to, what number is that? Oh, 400. That's not the one I want. See, they told him to sit here. Obviously, he's wearing the camouflage, as you can see, in the state. So wait, I was gonna go through. Of course, they got this immediately. 400. Right around me. I was gonna walk by and just get a glimpse, but the usual mob. Notice he's looking over me. Okay, so I'm just gonna walk by. It's car number 62. It's the same one that was down there. This is an act. They got the guy, which they have. I have to go by that way because there's only the stop is down the street there. So I'll just walk up there. Watch him smirk or something as I go by. This is a stage play here. He owns this. 62. Smirking too. Smirk for the camera, asshole. Smirk for the camera. Sitting on there. Told you he was gonna smirk when I went by. That's because it's all staged, so they do that to try to get a reaction, to evoke an emotional reaction or whatever. Now they'll see down here, as I come down here, they got a bunch of people wandering all around. All of a sudden, nobody. It's after 10 p.m. So these actors here, further, get the bus down here. See if he's gonna come up here too. So the first stop, when I bypass them there and continue to walk, they show up at the next stop there to stalk. That's the drug trafficking Gatineau police, the Freemason Gatineau police, who promote child abuse in their lodges at the higher levels, promoting changing the gender of children. And you can see some of these fine upstanding officers wearing those red strings to promote the Kabbalah. So, and if you don't think that's what it is, I can go through some of their literature for you and make a clear connection for you, because most people are too lazy to read nowadays. But I can read it for you if you want me to. There's one good book called Kabbalah Secrets Christians Need to Know. I had a copy of it. I left it where I was living before, unfortunately. That goes through a lot of it and details a lot of these things with regards to these agendas. It is child abuse, and all these people, the police and these psychopaths like that guy there, they endorse these things, but they run cover on it and they'll lie and say, oh no, we don't do what you can see us really doing. You know, don't believe what your eyes can see, believe what you were told. That's the catchphrase for the Obey clothing line they used to have. I don't know if they still have that, but it was this clothing line that would have like all these occult symbols, like the all-seeing eye or their pyramid symbol, and then it would say things like, don't believe what your eyes can see, believe what you were told. In other words, become a slave to the state and accept lies as truth.
The following footage is a continuation from the same night, just a very short time later after I arrived in Ottawa. I had been traveling from Gatineau to Ottawa to get to work, and as you saw, the Gatineau police were sent to wait at the first bus stop that I would usually go to. When I bypassed that and continued on a distance to the portage, the Gatineau police followed and drove along up in front of me, and then parked at the next bus stop that I would be headed to. Then after I finally got on the bus and got to the train station to go to Ottawa, this is the footage here that I have as I have just gotten off the train in Ottawa. I had to switch over to my other pair of camera glasses because the battery on that previous pair had been getting low, so the date and time indicated by the camera glasses here are accurate, and you'll see what occurs just as I step out from the station here in Ottawa. Right as I walk up to the street to cross along the normal route that I would take, right away they have an Ottawa police car driving up to synchronize with precise timing, so you'll see that here.
Across the street there, looks like U-turn there, yeah. So we'll just come down here and see there's a constable coming down here, maybe. Yeah, it's a constable, I think. Right on cue as I get here, yeah, special constable. That's police, okay. So 2 provinces. 7429, and there you go. Where does I get here? Okay. So let's see from here. So that's Gatineau police, and then right as I cross, as soon as I exit the station in Ottawa, an Ottawa cop there. I just want to see what's going on down here, if there's... Nine, and there you go. Where does I get here? Okay. So let's see from here. Check this out here. Just over my workplace here. Okay. See that? Got the police plane flying over the area near my workplace here. Just stepped outside, you can hear it there. There. Hopefully I caught it there.
While CSIS and the Ottawa police give violent criminals involved with the drug trade early releases from prison for agreeing to take part in criminally stalking and making threats of violence against honest, law-abiding citizens, the corrupt Freemasonic Brotherhood of Police are awarded for stalking and terrorizing those who have exposed corruption and whistleblowers. Because the Fraternal Masonic Brotherhood of Ottawa Police play a major role in enabling the drug trade, they have a seemingly unlimited amount of compromised informants and drug dealers who they allow to operate. These people are also used in illegal and inhumane stalking campaigns that the criminal Masonic police use to attempt to silence and terrorize any honest person who would choose to speak out openly about their criminality. The Ottawa police and their Freemason chief Eric Stubbs sending criminals to make threats of violence against citizens who have exposed police corruption. A legitimate organization with integrity would never partake in such blatantly criminal acts. This is what organized crime syndicates do. The criminal Masonic Brotherhood of Ottawa Police have been sending their officers to stalk, harass, and terrorize me for nearly 4 years. While they slander and spread malicious lies to attempt to justify their years of illegal surveillance, abuse, and criminal harassment, they also play a major role in working with state-controlled media to stage an endless array of falsified events to attempt to willfully deceive those members of the Canadian public who have not yet signed on and made their agreement with the state to become community-based slaves. throughout the 4 years of harassment that the Ottawa police have put me through, showing up to harass and intimidate me wherever I go, sending officers to attempt to set up street theater skits to try to provoke reactions, setting up deceitful skits with community-based agents involved in the drug trade, sending violent low IQ criminals to make threats of violence against me. They've also had officers violently attack me. One officer, the criminal Freemason officer English, a little over a year ago, almost attempted to drive his car directly into me. He then violently attacked me as I was already walking away from a heated exchange with another Ottawa police officer who had been sent to stalk me. They then handcuffed me and forced me to go to a hospital after being violently assaulted by the corrupt, drug-running criminal officer English, who is also covered in these satanic biker gang tattoos that so many of them have. At that point, again, what they tried to do in those situations is to get a false report from these mental health people who are also a part of the communitarian system and who also must lie and fabricate these false reports on behalf of the police to attempt to create justification for the police criminal harassment and stalking. So these are just some of the things that the drug trafficking Freemason organized crime syndicate known as the Ottawa Police have put me through over the past 4 years. And the same can be said of the Gatineau Police, although a little bit worse with the Ottawa Police in terms of officers violently assaulting me, attacking me. They have sent criminals in Gatineau to make threats of violence against me as well, though, with a drug dealer who the Gatineau police were allowing to operate a few years ago as well, and that video documentation can be seen on my YouTube channel also. In a democratic process under rule of law, there is the right to due process. Anything short of that, with police being given permission to terrorize, harass, and stalk people who have committed no crime for years, falls directly under criminal harassment and is nothing short of that. There is no justification for criminally harassing, stalking, and setting up these gaslighting skits over and over again for years against a person who has committed no crime. This does not happen in democracies. It does not happen in free countries at all. It only happens under tyranny. And the people who I show you in these videos, Dan Rogers of CSIS, Eric Stubbs of the Ottawa Police, and these other criminals, all a part of Freemasonry's organized crime syndicate, which, I might add, there is a code of silence in Canada. That's why you don't hear about it too much. But what you need to understand is that all of these people are Freemasons, and the controlled media must keep a code of silence to cover up the crimes they're committing against their citizens, the removal of basic rights and freedoms, and how they continue to terrorize, harass, and stalk me as they have been doing for the past 4 years. There is no justification for criminally harassing and stalking someone who has not committed a crime for years. This does not happen in free countries. And only organized crime syndicates would partake in such situations. And that's what the Ottawa Police are. They're an organized crime syndicate who run extortion rackets, also fully enabling the drug trade. And I will not at all stop exposing these criminals, the officers involved in these things, Freemason Eric Stubbs, or criminals Dan Rogers, Michael Duheme from the RCMP, and any others who are involved in these things, who are partaking in these things as well. So let that be well known. The more they attempt to do these things to intimidate and silence me, the more material I will put up exposing their criminality.